giving me in the chats speak a lot to models we've covered, insights I have shared, frameworks I have taught at Immerse Coaching Company, and end of this intensive is going to favor you, right? This is still your year, and more importantly, we are at the threshold of a decade that is still all yours. It's still all yours, right? So I welcome you with all my heart. I have released my faith and my conviction in the direction of what we're going to witness today. Your heart will burn. You'll be catalyzed. You will come into the rich activations that you require to break onto the other side of wonderworking wisdom. You're going to experience, the kind of recharge that your soul structure requires to enter new levels of success. Okay, so it's going to be really good, not only because of the answers I will show you, but because of the new level of energy that you're going to attain in the course of the conversation today. So let's get right into it. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Let's get right into it. That's my prayer for you, and that is still my conviction about this year. 2024 is still your year, and is going to mark your life with meaning, mission, momentum, and majestic miracles. Okay, let's take our affirmations together. We've continued to declare these things from the beginning of the year, and it is working wonders. Declare with me, this is my exponential year. Believe it. And if you've got a space where you are and you can voice print some of these declarations, I encourage you to do so. I'm declaring in agreement with you that you are standing at the cutting edge of divine attunement, alignment, and assignment. Your life indeed is as wide open spaces, granting access to the best ideas, gifts, events, people, experiences, and opportunities that have been prepared for you. You're going to become indeed a powerful proof of God's goodness. People are going to look at you and say, surely God is with this one. God is with this business. God is with this family. God is with this woman. God is with this man. You're still experiencing bold beginnings and big bounce backs. I see your valiant vision and awakened answers becoming resounding realities on the earth realm. It's still your year of resilient resurgence. You will manifest in life and living the fullness and the fulfillment of every divine design and destiny developments that have already been ordained for you by God concerning your rise and your reign in 2024. I see you digging wealth wells, not only this year, but all through this decade. God has done that for me. I can see it working, and I know it will work for you. I see you digging wealth wells. I see you buying fruitful fields that have pearls and precious stones in them. I see that your success systems are getting stronger and stronger, and you will build beautiful barns for your forthcoming heavy harvest. This is indeed your reality. Here and now, this is happening for you. It is your year of yes, right? It's your decade of destiny. You become ready and you respond to your purpose and your potential. You see, as you go on in this powerful pursuit of God's plans and purposes, I declare that heaven's supernatural supplies, support, and succor will set you apart as forever favored and permanently preserved. You are forever favored and permanently preserved. Look, what that means is no matter how prosperous you get, you are still going to be preserved. You're not going to lose your anchor. You're not going to become disintegral to your values, and you're not going to back off on your conviction. You will not become a person you do not know on the account of wealth. No, you're going to be a stronger, more successful version of your true, authentic identity in God as He prospers you on your path. This is your year to come into prepared places, oiled opportunities, awakened answers, anointed abundance, angelic announcements, inspired ideas, excellent execution, and major moves. I want you to put that in the chats. I want you to declare that I am making major moves, I'm executing excellently, and I'm generating strides of genius. things are really working out for you. I want you to open up your mind, and not only your heart, but also your mind. Receive it in your heart, but envision it with your mind. Embrace it, delight in it, see it happening for you. It's still your season where your productivity is profitable, your hard work is honored, your assignment is announced, your excellence is exalted. I declare that God is placing you where he sees you and propelling you into global greatness through angelic announcement. I want to stay there for a moment because I have a very vivid revelation in my spirit that this is one of the strongest technologies of the spirit in this season. God is truly prophetically propelling his people into global greatness, into global greatness. Global greatness can mean so many things, but I want to highlight 5 and challenge you to pray with that and give thanks with that. Number 1, global greatness is talking about global opportunities. There will be doors that will open for you from around the nations of the earth because your name is now getting mentioned in rooms when you're not even there. Global greatness is talking about global access. Your mobility is multiplied across nations of the earth. You're going to travel, you're going to be paid to travel, to provide expertise on committees, on platforms. You're going to expand and scale your vision because global greatness also means global scale. You're going to reach more markets, more segments, more regions. You're going to create more products. You are coming into global opportunities. You're coming into global access. You're coming into global scale. Your career is scaling. Your businesses are scaling. Your products are scaling because you are now going to be able to reach more people through the power and the vehicle of technology and media, right? Global greatness talks about global funding. You're going to receive resources from all parts of the world, multilateral institutions, governments, well-meaning individuals, philanthropists are going to believe in the assignment on your life and they're going to support you. So there will be global funding for the mission and the mandate that you have received. You're also going to have global partnerships, friends, families, colleagues, confidants, contemporaries, consultants, co-laborers, fellow builders from all around the world are going to connect with the work that you have to do. So receive these things, not only in your heart, but in your mind. Receive, you're going to be helped. You're going to be supported. You would always have quality helpers. Global greatness. I can see this so vividly in my heart, and I don't want to exclude yourself from this excellence. I don't want you to negotiate yourself out of this significance, but I want you to settle into that enthronement and believe that indeed it is your season, it is your time. I pray over you from my heart, and I press into the oil that has been allocated even for this conversation, that we're all going to be partakers. I want you to know that whether it's entrepreneurship or careers or academia, wherever your assignment in this season is leading you, it requires spiritual leverage. And so we're not in a church session, but I can't deny the power and the advantage that we have, right? So I want you to know that things will open up on the account of wisdom. Now, I want you to press into this particular declaration that the wonder-working wisdom I require to open the door into my next level enters into my heart, so that these declarations can meet with the execution engine that will now cause you to manifest materially that which has been provided to you prophetically. So wonder working wisdom, receive that. I receive the wonder working wisdom that opens the door. I'm told my volume is low. Please confirm for me if you are able to hear me. And I'm also trying to check my audio settings very quickly to see how that is looking. Let's see how that is looking. Please let me know if you're able to hear me really excellently. I'm trying to see if you can hear me really well, properly. Okay. Thank you for confirming. So volume is great. Okay. So my sis, please check on your side to see volume is perfect, solid. So I want you to declare that you're accessing the wonder working wisdom that you need for your next level. There's a wonder working wisdom that becomes a door opener. And finally, I want you to know that when wonder working wisdom comes to you, there's going to be resistance, and that resistance is both external and internal. Guess what? External resistance is easier to conquer than internal resistance. The internal resistance is often around 3 to 5 things. The first dimension of internal resistance is your predominant mindset. The second dimension of internal resistance is your fear of success. The third dimension of internal resistance is your habitual system, the system of habits you have already established in your life. The fourth dimension of internal resistance is your fear of hard work. Every human in their state of inertia or comfort have a fear for next level hard work. The fifth level of your internal resistance is an inability for accountability or insufficient accountability. You see this? Did you catch that? So when wonder working wisdom comes to us, we also face resistance on the path to that rulership, that next level rulership and reigning. Did you catch that? And then I've highlighted to you that there are external resistance, and those could be conquered way more easily than your internal resistance. So I want you to make that, bring it into your zone of focus and declare as well that my desire for my preferred future is greater than my resistance to the work it will take. My desire for my preferred future is greater than my resistance to the work it will take. So as wonder working wisdom comes, I will pull down the walls of internal resistance that stand in the way of my growth and transformation. Okay? So the fear of being successful, your own habitual systems, your fear of hard work, your limited accountability, your predominant mindsets, these things can stand in your way. And we're going to link supporting resources to this particular intensive, because I'm going to be saying so many things and I may not be able to unpack some of them. But we're going to offer you even more resources if you registered. If you didn't right after the call, you can still register for the intensive so that you're accessing the resources that I have for a lot of the concepts. So we can share with you disempowering your limitations to sort of take you deeper on how to conquer your own internal resistance. Okay, so let's get moving really quickly this evening. Well, it's daytime on my side. I'm in the US, so I'm feeling the power of the global time zone for real. Okay, I want to take a moment to shout out to my darling friend, sister, partner in purpose, Bralade Koroye Emenanjo, who had a birthday recently. Actually, we celebrate her birthday for an entire month because she's like a global treasure. So take a moment to please honor the gift that we've got in Bralade Koroye Emenenjo. She is a dearly beloved partner across our business, our coaching practice. She's a sister and a friend and a gift in ministry to us. So we're celebrating Professor Braxy this evening. It's also so powerful that we get to celebrate her right in the middle, showing you today she lives out the reality of these principles. And you are also going to be listening to her at the Visionary Leadership Conference US Pod. So you want to make sure that if you live in the US, you fly out and join us at Houston. If you're in Houston or the neighborhood, what a blessing that you would just be able to drive right to, the venue and be with us on the 21st, next week, Saturday, on the 21st. I hope I'm correct about the dates, but yes, I think in 2 Saturdays, that is. Okay, not next week, the upper, something like that, if I'm correct. But we are looking forward to spending time with you at the conference as well. Thank you for celebrating Professor Braxy with me. If you see her in the streets, Let her know how much we love her. Okay, we're jumping right into the 10x framework. And I love to say that anything can 2x, anything can 5x, anything can 10x, anything can 100x, right? But it's going to take wisdom, it's going to take work, right? But as much as you sit into your own unique purpose, then 100% you're going to be fully primed to succeed at scale without losing your your essence, your congruence, your inner power. And so it's a whole different question around where are you situated. Let's go on. Where you are situated also empowers how quickly you can get where you need to go. But that's a different conversation. You've got to be situated in the center of purpose. You've got to be situated in the center of assignment, and it makes it easy for you to thrive. I'm going to show you a number of quotes. I promise you, they got my heart pumping. They will do the same for you. Look at the first one here by Deepak, who is a very respected thought leader, and a powerful thinker. He says commitment is the ultimate assertion of human freedom. This is so powerful. It releases all the energy you possess and enables you to take quantum leaps in creativity. When you set a one-pointed intention and absolutely refuse to allow obstacles to dissipate the focused quality of your attention, you engage the infinite organizing power of the universe. Oh my God. I don't know if you just read what I or heard what I read. Commitment is the ultimate assertion of human freedom. Oh my God. That you are in charge of that level of agency to coordinate your faculties into focus, that you are in charge of that. And it makes you powerful. You are free at the level of being able to own a commitment. You are not enslaved by the tyranny of the ordinary, that you can make a commitment to be a certain person, go a certain place, build a certain thing. My God, you can determine. You see this? I know that we are in a time where people make a lot of excuses and people place the blame for what's not working on others. There's a whole um, mental health advocacy that has a disservice it can do to humanity because it teaches you learned helplessness and it systematically absolves you of responsibility. And you're just like, I can't handle it, I can't handle it, I can't handle it. But true freedom comes from being able to direct your faculties into focus, to prefer where you want to go, and to organize your resources in that direction. My God, to leverage yourself as an asset. This is good. This is good. And you need to show me in the chats. If you want me to move and take the altitude to the next level, then let's do this. I need to read in the charts what is striking for you. It says, when you've got commitment, you release all the energy you possess, and it enables you to take quantum leaps in creativity. He said, when you set a one-pointed intention and absolutely refuse to allow obstacles dissipate the focused quality of your attention, you engage the infinite organizing power of the universe. Let's look at this second one. And I think that you're just going to love it as we go. Because, I mean, you know me, quotes just do it for me. Look, this one by Barbara Sher. She says, doing is the quantum leap from imagining. Doing is a quantum leap from imagining. Thinking about swimming isn't much like actually getting in the water. Actually getting in the water can take your breath away. The defense force inside of us wants us to be cautious, to stay away from anything as intense as a new kind of action. Its job is to protect us and it categorically avoids anything resembling danger. We all have a defense force that is keeping us cautious, that is keeping us from participating in anything too intense. right? But it's often wrong. Anything worth doing is worth doing soon. My God, my God. Now, this is where I'm going to be screaming. Many of us are living within the confines of our defense force, our internal defense force, gatekeeping us from the next. And I talk about it all the time that you can't be safe and significant at the same time. You can't be safe and this does not mean you're going to live your life on the edge of danger, but you're going to have your heart in your mouth. You're going to have your lungs, almost popping out of your soul. You're going to feel unable. You're going to ask yourself, what am I really doing? You're going to be afraid. You're going to feel like I'm taking on too much. Am I the only one? You're going to feel that if you're on a path that is significant. Think about any remarkable person you know. And I believe you're on this intensive because you're my kind of person, pursuing a vision worth fighting for and seeking to become a person worth becoming. Anything worth doing is worth doing soon. Worth doing too soon. Oh, wow. So you have to break out of your internal defense force intentionally. We all need comfort, you see, but we only deserve comfort if we have been at shore. And that's how I feel about it. I feel like you deserve comfort it's almost like what we call homeostasis. You need it as a balancing effect in your life. But how do you cry for comfort when you are complacent? If you're complacent, what you need is a propelling push that causes your heart to beat. You have to feel like, am I going to fail at this? You have to feel terrified. You don't need comfort if you're complacent. You need comfort if you have been at shore. Do you understand this? You ought to earn it to feel like I paid my dues. I need to step back. And I'm going to show you that very shortly as well. This is too good. This is just too good. What? Please go back for me. This is something else. Barbara Shaw is taking my breath away. She says, oh gosh, actually getting in the water can take your breath away. The defense force inside of us wants us to be cautious, to stay away from anything that is as intense as a new kind of action. What has been your new kind of action this year? I can reel out a number. What has been your new kind of action this year? Call your name and repeat that to yourself as your question. Opeyemi Temidayo, Lara, Tracy, Eniola, Adeshola, Bodam, Abby, Jane. What has been your new kind of action in 2024? Yet we called it a year for bold beginnings. We need a new kind of action in your business, your ministry, your career, your personal life, your relationships, your parenting. What's been your new kind of action? And then we wonder why we're not breaking out to new horizons and shifting into new orbits. How do we shift into new orbits? We are pushed out, by new energy to enter new energy levels. That's how it happens. What's been your new kind of action? Oh gosh, this is so good. I love it. Thank you for talking to me. I wrote my book. I took myself more seriously. I launched my company. I'm working more hours. Although I want you to work strategically. Give me the next one by Jack Confield. Let's look at this one. This is good. He said, almost everything we'll ever do in life that is really powerful, that really produces a result in our lives, that quantum leaps us to a new level, requires us to do something uncomfortable. Requires us to do something uncomfortable, right? It says almost anything that is going to be powerful, create a result in your life, and quantum leap you into a new level is going to require you to do something uncomfortable. Something uncomfortable, right? So I have extensively highlighted why the whole soft life, in the way it's often promoted, may not be safe, right? It may not be safe. I'm counting on the team to keep their eyes up on that side, right? So we've got to be very careful not to catch ourselves stuck in wanting everything to be easy. Look at this one by Grant Cardone, and I will show you about 2 or 3 from him. He said, until you become completely obsessed with your mission, no one will take you seriously. Until the world understands that you're not going away, that you're 100% committed and have complete and utter conviction and will persist in pursuing your project, you will not get the attention you need and the support you want. Wow. Look at this. Until you become completely obsessed with your mission, no one will take you seriously. Until the world understands that you're not going away. This is not just some side gig, some little thing on that side. Team, please keep your eyes in the comments and delete and take out, any non-human comment. I just saw one coming through, right? So you want to take care of a persistent conviction. Nobody said you're going to get it right in the first year. It's fine. It's fine for you to be underestimated, for you to start out the business and they're like, you two, you started. What makes you, what gives you this right? You have a mission. You don't need permission. No one is going to start off necessarily taking you seriously, but you've got to persist, stay committed, and demonstrate that utter conviction in pursuing your project. And then you begin to get the support, the attention, the help that you actually need. I love it that you're not going away. Omolade, really good. Look at this other one by Grant. Permit me to say this one, I could have written it myself because I find it so much in coaching. Look at this. Look at this. Average assumes, incorrectly, of course, that everything operates stably. People optimistically overestimate how well things will go and then underestimate how much energy and effort it will take just to push things through. Anyone who has made it in business will support this concept. I'm telling you, they're going to tell you also that average has inaccurate assumptions. If you've made it in business, it's already clear to you that it is impossible to thrive assuming that everything will operate stably. Ever tried to execute a project and you had a clear plan, you had a clear marketing brief, you had it all worked out, and every day you find yourself having to iterate a new solution to just inject possibilities, or you've ever executed an event and everything you thought, are you joking? Everything you thought was going to go right didn't go right. Average has very inaccurate assumptions. Excellence is on the side of knowing that you will require an energy and a degree of comfort that is grueling. Greatness invites you to what we call grueling growth. Do you understand grueling growth? That you're going to cry hot tears. If you're doing anything of real significance and you want to build to last and you want to break, and I need to talk to believers for a moment because I feel like kingdom people are often the ones caught up unconsciously in this very average driven way of thinking about life because you are misunderstanding the concept of favor. You're thinking that you're just going to be like everyone else, and then what will stand you out is God will just handpick you. That doesn't even align to the character of God. Favor looks like empowering you to go the extra mile and then rewarding your extra mile. That's what favor looks like. Favor looks like energy to do work. And as you get the work done, you then get rewarded because some people put in the extra mile but don't get the results. Favor looks like you putting the extra mile, then your extra mile is multiplied. That's it. It said people optimistically overestimate how well things will go. Wow. Right? And so many times when we have those overestimations, when things don't work out, we're so discouraged so quickly. And you even start to say, maybe this is not for me. Maybe I didn't hear right. Do you understand this? So good. So good. Look at this third one by Grant. He says, in order to get to the next level of whatever you're doing, you must think and act in a wildly different way than you previously have been. You cannot get to the next phase of a project without a grander mindset, more acceleration, and extra horsepower. Okay, now. Just look at that. 100%, 200% correct. In order to get to the next level of whatever you're doing, you must think and act in a wildly different way than you previously have been. You cannot get to the next phase. Would you take me back, please? Right? I believe it with all my heart. You can't get to the next phase of a project without a grander mindset, more acceleration, and extra horsepower. I'm going to take a water break and we stay on this slide while you tell me on the chat what this means for you. What does it already say to you? Right? What are you finding most resonant? And you're saying, okay, DDK, already in this intensive, if I take this mindset with me, it's going to make a difference in my vision, my personal life this season. And I'll be reading. Okay, what are you hearing? What are you already thinking about? What is coming alive to you? Favor is energy and the extra mile you take to get the work done. Yes. And then he blesses that extra mile. I cannot get to the next level of growth without daring the impossible. Whatever is worth doing too soon. Lovely. Aha, Shay says, what brought me this far won't take me that far. I love it. Let's look at the next quotes and we start to close this out. Brendan, I'm going to show you a few Brendan quotes that you know I always love. He says, you have a clean slate every day you wake up. You have a chance every single morning to make that change and be the person you want to be. You just have to decide to do it. Decide today's the day. Say this is going to be my day. Don't I just love it? Show me the next one. This is going to be my day. Now let's get into this last set of slides that I feel like will blow your mind even more. He said, beginning today, set an intention and a relentless focus on living your life as the greatest person you can be in all situations. Demand that you demonstrate a strength of character in such a way that you find pride in who you are and that others see you as a role model. I often share this quote because whatever you want to do, always rest on who you are. What you do rests on who you are. Who you are and who you're choosing to become is always the fulcrum upon which your accomplishments, your execution will always rest. Right? So I find many people, let's talk about that for a moment, since we're highlighting success systems, and you do need success systems. I'm going to tell you a few things about success systems just on the go today that I think would also be a very rich contribution to how you're thinking about your life and your work, right? So tell me I have the permission. Please go back. I'm still on the other slide. Thank you kindly. Tell me I have your permission to sit into shortly the matter of success and success systems, and then we just look through the quotes. I need to read it from you. DDK, talk to me about success systems for a moment. Talk to me about it, DDK, and I'm going to do that for you. And it will be a rich interjection already to the way I need you to think about success. Since we're in success systems today, okay? You have my full permission. Tracy says, go for it, DDK. Now, the first thing I need to highlight to you that I believe is a fundamental philosophy that you require. And I know many of us have it, but let's highlight it again. When it comes to framing a success system, by the way, you have a system, whether it is creating success for you or not, we'll talk about that. And you likely already have a system that is giving you success, but you may want to then strengthen it to take you to the next level. But anyway, the fundamental basis of this conversation around success systems is to recognize that true success is first who you become more than what you accomplish. If you can break forcefully into this counterculture conditioning, it will change your life. Counterculture conditioning for success states that true success is first about who you are more than what you accomplish. That who you are on the inside is actually an asset for success. And that there are things you will enter into on the account of who you are that you will not labor for because they exist at that realm of identity and living. This is very powerful. There are things you will experience and access and achieve that are connected to who you are because they exist at that realm of identity. There are people you will meet at a level of identity. There are doors that will open at a level of identity. There are situations that will respond at a level of identity. Allow me to remind you of the question, so I know. So I know. Who are you? This is the fundamental counterculture conditioning. If you're a kingdom person, you understand this profound question that was asked. I know this personality as a realm that exists. I know this personality as a realm that exists. Who are you? You see, certain guys were trying to get a situation to respond to them. The situation spoke back to them and said, what you are asking for operates at a realm of identity. You don't exist at this realm of identity. So this situation can't respond to you. Do you understand this? There are things that exist at realms of living, realms of identity, realms of design, realms of human essence, realms of soul structure. This is the fundamental basis of building your success system. I beg you, break out of the herd mentality that success looks like the estate you live in, the car you drive, the position you have in a multinational, the clothes you wear, the awards you win, the platforms you speak on, the Ivy League universities you get to attend. I beg you to break out of it. And don't tell me, no, DDK, that's not even me. That is every one of us. We are all socialized to admire a certain kind of externalities when it comes to success. We are all socialized. So don't quickly dismiss it. Self-awareness makes you begin to question your socialization intentionally to say, how did I frame my standards for success? Do you see this? And you then intentionally begin to dial back into a new place of authenticity, of strong values, of new thinking. It matters. It really matters. Or else you will despise your own journey. You will be attracted to people that are not good for your soul. You will make mistakes pursuing what doesn't matter. And a very big thing I want to highlight to you, you will work so hard attaining what you thought was success. And when you get to that pinnacle, you would find your soul crying out so badly that you will begin to question, how could I be at this height and I still feel this lonely? I still feel this distressed. And it's like spending one's life climbing a ladder, leaning on the wrong wall. Imagine that. So this really matters. It's the basis for the conversation around success systems, right? Now, I'm trying to sell something to you and I hope you buy it because this is what's changed my life the most. And what I'm trying to sell to you is not merely a conversation around good values. Don't be moved by money. That's not what I'm telling you. What I'm really telling you is the moment you start to become a person worth becoming, there are dimensions of success that you desire that will naturally happen for you. And what, so I mean that there will be things you will never chase. There will be things you will never chase. That's happening again and again and again and again to me. There will be things you will never chase. And that's what I want you to experience. I'm already in the intensive. Don't wait for my slides. Capture what you can capture. Do you understand this? Things you would never chase because you understand that success truly emanates first from the state of the spirit, from the state of the soul, from the realm of identity. They begin to line up because you're that person, and there are things that respond as you graduate into deeper levels of your original essence. Now, the second thing that I would love to highlight here about success systems, and I'll speak to one more, we get back into the slides and we keep moving that way. The second thing I'd love to highlight to you about success systems is that your life is actually your school. Your life is your school. And because success is very personal and very connected to original design, right? Oh, this is so good. Look, you've got an original design, and when you know your original design, you are able to easily succeed. It's like a fish on sand. A fish in sand will struggle, and it's not because it can't swim. It's not because it doesn't have this superpower to meander and to maneuver. It is because, in its original design, the context it is set is inappropriate for its original design. You see this? So when you understand your original design, you succeed, you thrive, you prosper, right? And many times we don't sit down and just write a note to ourselves and say, this is my original design, this is my original design. No, it actually takes us time studying our lives to start to understand our original designs. And you have to have failures, you have to have successes, you have to have challenges, you have to have inspiration, you have to have a lot of unique experiences happening to you for you to gradually begin to say, okay, this is my life. When I have friends that affirm me but give me room to be myself, I thrive. When I work on projects that allow me be autonomous, I thrive. When I go to cities and I live close to nature, I thrive. When I'm able to express the truth, without feeling like I'll be considered a difficult person, I thrive. When people keep their word and, they're accountable, I thrive. It's through experiences you continue to say, this is my original essence, and it differs from the other person. Now, so I'm taking you somewhere with that. Where I'm really going is the second insight around your success system. Your success system is discovered as you go on your journey, and life teaches you things. There are parts of your success system that you will acquire by learning, but you are going to have to be able to situate it. Could you give me back the slides? I do feel distracted. Thank you. Lovely. Now, look at this. Your success system is almost like something you plug and play, right? And you have to set it up into key pillars. Don't worry, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about, right? So as you go on your journey and you look at your story, you're going to find key pillars of who you are, right? So let me give you an example of that. You may discover key pillars around, for example, relationships, key pillars around spirituality, productivity and how you prefer to work. your understanding of wealth and how you earn, those sort of things. So you keep unpacking who you are. Now, the moment you have now cracked the core pillars of your original design, your success system means you layer the best way to succeed given your uniqueness, right? You take your uniqueness. So with this intensive, there are things I will show you. You have to take it from me and say, it works. These things are powerful, but how do I situate it to my own uniqueness? Because I'm not DDK. This is the way that coaching works or fails. If coaching tells you to take a template and use it the way it is, and it will work for everybody, then it's wrong. It's going to fail. But if I can show you a system and you can situate it intuitively to your own unique journey, then you're more likely to succeed. That's how it works. So the second highlight I'm offering you on this side is when it comes to your success systems, you have to study your life till you crack your original design. You keep studying your life. You keep studying your journey. You keep studying your story. You keep studying how you run businesses, how you're growing your career, what makes you succeed, what makes it difficult to thrive, the kind of people that you can build your projects with, those you could never work with, on and on that way. You become a student of your life as a school. And then as you begin to interact with higher wisdom, because when we say that your life has something to teach you, it teaches you your essence, but you still have to acquire the wisdom to leverage your essence. And I'm going to pause. Tell me if you really understand what I'm highlighting. Or tell me if you want me to give you one more example, right? I'm trying to show you the difference between your original design and how to create a success system. Tell me if you want me to give an example or you catch it. When we say study your original design, it is so that you know how you work, how you function, how you're wired, right? Are you're catching it? Okay. Thank you. So let's do one more example. Study your life. I'm saying this is critical for building a success system. You've got to study how you are wired. And I have a whole program in Unbundling the Decade. I talk about it all the time, where I show you the different empires of your original essence so that you can become more schooled in yourself. But anyway, as you begin to study your original essence, you are learning more about how you are wired and how best you function, right? Now, as you have this growing sense of your original design, you will now need to layer a success system on it. Your original design is yours, but you would have to acquire systems of success. Now, let me give an example. In DDK's original design, I have to work multidimensionally. That is hardcore into my design. Is that correct? Not everybody has to be that way. Not everyone has multiple streams of vision flowing out. I'm not better, smarter, wiser, right, than those who primarily have been centered on a core assignment and that's what they're working on. I'm not in any way, I'm not. And at the same time, I'm not confused, assuming that I'm too much, overdoing anything, as it may seem to a one gifted, one vision person. Do you catch this? So at the core of my original design is a capacity and a wiring to flow out multiple assignments. Now, are you catching that on the original design side of things? Did you get that? That is at the core of my original design, knowing that at any given time, I am able to release multi streams of my calling and expressions. You see this, that's that on one side. Now, that does not mean that I will succeed at the multi influential life. That is my design, but it does not mean I will succeed at it if I do not create a success system around it. So the success system becomes a matter of what? Knowledge, technology, structure, relationships, coaching, mentorship do I require to be able to frame my success as a multi-influential person? Or else I could be overwhelmed. I could go too fast too soon. I could have a brand that is difficult to understand because it seems like I'm just jama jama anyhow. Do you get? So I am now responsible for, so let me give you a few things that will now sit in my success system. The first thing that must sit in my success system as a multi-influential person based on my original essence is what you call a comprehensive yet integrated brand language. I must have an integrated personal brand. This must sit in my success system, meaning when you look at me, you are able to say at the core of DDK, this is her mission. She's flowing it out many ways, but she's a powerful person. This is what her work is about. And every time you see something of DDK, without even seeing DDK, you'll be like, that's her. I must have an integrated and comprehensive personal brand. I wasn't born with that. I didn't learn it in school, meaning I have to go find it because it's a system I need for my original design. There's got to be that there. Number two, I must be dexterous at visionary clarity. Reason is I need people. I literally need an army for the different organizations I run. So I must be able to clone my vision in other people. Somebody who runs one organization does not need it as dearly as I need it. And I didn't wake up with it, even though my original design, I'm multi-influential. Are you understanding this? So I need it. I need to grow that success system. It's a criticality for me. It may not be for many people. Visionary excellence in articulation, in clarity. I need that. Number three, I need a high performance capacity. The ability to, so expertise that makes me move quickly at execution. I need a high performance capacity because of what I've been called to do. Do you understand this? And number four, I need living models at way higher level than I am operating who are in their multi-influential life as well. Because we are the exception, we're not the rule. We're not how everybody is. We are the exception. So you literally have to lock yourself into relationships with people who've gone ahead, succeeding at that multi-influential life. That's why Cindy Trim is my mentor, as an example. Do you see this? That's why I'm sitting with certain kind of leaders. Do you understand this? It must be part of my own success system. Because if I don't have living proof, I will be discouraged on my own journey. Because it's not every day that it feels easy. I promise you. So you acquire your success system, but you must have a place to plug your success system. That is why when people come into coaching and they learn insights from a DDK, but they don't understand their original design, they will not have any place to plug it into. Do you understand? So if I sit with Dr. Cindy Trim and I'm asking questions about your coaching practice, you're consulting for the government, you run a ministry, how do these things work? I have where to go back and situate it because I understand how I am wired. So that's the balance. Your life is your school. You take acquisitions of success systems and you plug it into your original design. It becomes your matrix. Do you understand this? Tell me if that was good, if you caught that. Aha, lovely. So that's the example you needed. So I want you to keep being a student of your own life, right? Keep being a student of your own life. Now, the third principle I want to teach you, Rinse, repeat, reinforce. And that's where we're going to stop for now on this matter of, okay, the basics for thinking about your success system that helps you achieve results, right? And remember, this is laid on the foundation of the fact that you know that you're capable of winning and you always win. You already know that. There's no one on this call who is like, DDK is because it's you. Lewis is because it's you. Aziaha is because it's you. You guys have gone. Nobody's thinking that way. Just demolish that one instantly so we can move. You see, let's move quickly. There's no one on this call who believes they're incapable of success. None of us. The basis of the whole conversation is that you know that you are capable of winning. You are in it to win it, right? Now, the third on this side is rinse, repeat, reinforce. Rinse, repeat, reinforce. I beg you, if something works for you, do it at the next level. Expand it. Make it more creative, more radiant, more powerful, right? If it works, leverage it. Sit there. Take it to Harvard. Build a ship on it. What is working for you? How will you not know what works for you? The moment you know it works, make the most of it. Do you understand this? And that's why I say to business leaders that self-awareness is actually a competence that you must keep growing. I give you an example, and let me give you 3 examples of something in my leadership success. I'll give you 3. I've shared one with you. Number 1, visionary articulation. This thing works. My team members on this call, I can sell how to build a ship, and in a week, my team members will be at shore, getting ready to move us to sea. It works. So I keep growing it. I keep expanding it. It's my game. I'm good at this thing. It gives me success. I use it in ministry. I use it in my public policy work. And that's why my leaders become so great at the work that when I step back from it, they are running this thing because the look at this how I'd explain it. When I transfer vision, I tribal mark the soul of my leaders. I tribal mark their souls. Did you get? You're going to even buy my belief that this crazy idea can work. It's my own superpower. I've used it and learned it and grown it and again, right? So if you know something works, you keep using it. You keep elaborating on it. Too many of us always are looking at everybody else but ourselves, feeling like people have what you don't have. What do you have? What do you have? And how can we make it work? How can we reinforce it? Rinse, repeat, reinforce. You see, the second leadership grace that I have is my uncanny balance for compassion and love and grace and sweetness alongside very objective, demanding, high standard requirement of excellence. Both can sit together. For many leaders, both can sit together. They are either sugary and soft or they are tough and bitter. But both can sit together. It's a blessing. And I'm teaching you that you can grow that as well. I know that it gives me success. I've used it for years, many, many years. I use it in my parenting too. And it's that miracle of radical candor. And if you're a female leader and you haven't still read Radical Candor by Kim Scott, I don't even know what we're doing. Because you're going to be, I'm telling you, whether you run a business or you're in career, people are going to try so hard to get you to either be sugary soft or call you a bitch, for demanding excellence. But they can sit together. You can love very deeply. And you can say, I refuse, right? Isaiah says, on this second part of compassion and candid feedback, how much depends on me and how much depends on the other person? Would you break that down a bit more for me? But this leadership conversation, I'm talking about you and what you can do, right? And if a person resists, and that happens as well. So maybe the way I'll answer it for you, if someone resists the intersection between compassion and the call for excellence, it is the clearest answer that they cannot be with you. Is the clearest answer. We hire and fire for this concept. If you can take positive affirmation, but you cannot take the call out for excellence, then it's a predictable, definer that the relationship is timed, that you'll be on your way. You can take public praise and you can take, you're amazing, but you can't be called out. Maybe that's what I'll answer it. Right? So I'll stop there. But the concept of rinse, repeat, and reinforce is I'm challenging you to leave this call, and you must be able to answer what are the top 3 things that have triggered personal and visionary success in my life. Okay? I want you to go ask that question. And the moment you start to unpack it, I want you to reinforce it, leverage it, because it's not meant to go anywhere. Was that good or was that good? Okay, you caught the 3 that we highlighted as really remarkable in shaping success for you, because indeed they will. We're going to jump back into the quotes, but tell me if you caught those insights, and we have to take the altitude to the next level. Okay, let's go on to the next slide by Brendan on this precious intensive. And this particular quote, we've cried and laughed and thought about it, and it will be with us for a long time. He says, there comes a time in the lives of those destined for greatness when we must stand before the mirror of meaning and ask, why? Having been endowed with the courageous heart of a lion, do we live as mice? Oh my world. I mean, it just gets my heart beating every time. There comes a time in the lives of those destined for greatness when we must stand before the mirror of meaning and ask, why, having been endowed with the courageous heart of a lion, do we live as mice? Why? Look at that. Look at that. Why haven't been endowed with the courageous heart of a lion? Why? Why do we live as mice? Why? No, look. And I don't want anybody on this call being like, I don't live as mice. If you say that, you really have to take a second take. At best, you could be like, Didike, I'm on my way. I'm not scrapping for the dust. I'm making progress, but there are grounds to cover. And you want to stay on that path of challenging. Look at that. Stanley says, this is my word. God, I beg. Why? We have to desire to match the endowments on our lives. This is how I came into the year, and it's what kept me motivated in getting bold visionaries into Visionary Compass Accelerator program this year. I was restless because I woke up with a word. And basically what God said to me was, execution is obedience. How do I have a mandate of dominion for my sins, but they're just going to be average and make it okay? And he was like, you better go teach this execution thing and make it mark the hearts of people. You have to go and make a difference. You really have to break out and live out, your commitment to the endowment on your life. It's too powerful. I love it. I'm on my way. That's so good. Okay. Let's see if we've got any other quote and we start to close this out today. Okay, love it. That was something, wasn't it? That was something so good. And at this level in the intensive already, see the grounds we've covered, see the light that is shining. I'm trusting that you're taking notes and you're going to come back to this conversation so you can document an action plan. We're in the days where any coaching conversation must lead you to a leadership action plan. And for those who are registered, remember that we've got more resources coming for you. If you're not registered, the team is going to put that up for you. I need you registered for the intensive so that I can ensure that your resources get to you, and it helps you go beyond just listening to me. So we've closed out, Ezeaha. We've closed out the quotes, okay? The quotes. And we're going to spend the rest of the time we've got just deepening some of the conversations, and I will highlight for you some of the insights in the success systems themselves before we leave today. But remember, I've said to you, I will go deeper across actually my 10 elements within the success system for personal life and business in the course of the remaining part of the year. So 100%, you want to be in my coaching circle till the end of the year, because I will still be teaching. Okay. Why should you be listening to the conversation? Some of you have been with us for a long time. Some, this is your first time. And if you put in the chats for me, I will 100% love our people to celebrate you. Is this the first time you've been here? Okay. Let us know. Is this the first time you've joined a call by DDK? Let us know so we can celebrate you. So if you are new to the community and you're wondering, why should I hear your 10x anything? Like, everybody's just out there talking about one success thing or the other. 100%, I believe that I have something of significance to offer you. We are celebrating the 10th anniversary of Immerse Coaching Company. It's been 10 years since taking that leap of faith and starting out the 30 days, 30 questions program. And in those 10 years, there are surely remarkable lessons that I have picked. So you're welcome. We celebrate you. You're welcome. We started August 2014. And in 2 years of starting, we coached 250 women through the Immerse Academy for Women. At the time, from 2016, we launched our support coaching framework. And that was my own original model for certifying coaches, so that as they came through the 30-day 30 questions program, they went on to coach more women. We added more courses. And by the end of 2018, we had reached more than 11,000 women. Of course, one of our biggest courses at the time was Unleash Your Sexy. It was very loved, and we had so many women who came in there. But look at that. As at 2018, we weren't playing. We had reached 11,000 women through the different courses, and we started to build this support coaching framework that I felt very proud of, and I stopped being the only one coaching our women. 2019 was a really big year for us. We pivoted from email-based coaching into a subscription-based coaching membership called Immerse Inner Circle. By the end of this year, but as at now, actually, because we've completed the 13th cycle, we have completed 13 coaching cycles since we started the membership. Yay! And we've served more than 5,000 premium paid members of our community. It gives us great joy to see what the journey has been. 2020 was something remarkable. Some of you joined us from 2020 through Activation Intensive. We were in a lockdown, and I committed to becoming the personal coach for those who were seeking to shift into purpose. And I directly coached and worked with more than 25,000 people who registered to be a part of Activation Intensive. In fact, our Activation Intensive podcast was for a number of days number one globally for Google Podcasts. It was so listened to, it was so loved, and Activation Intensive was that mighty beginning of our next level. In 2021, we launched our Female Leadership Collective, the Future Forward Female Movement. We've released the Future Forward Female Blueprint. We have a mastermind. We've created assessments. We've held intensives. We've had awards. We have two folios, and we've directly worked with more than 40,000 women, whether downloading our folios, our assessments, being a part of our mastermind. It's been that kind of journey, right? Um, right on the top of that, in the course of the last 3 years, we've held international retreats in Dubai, Seychelles, Marrakesh, New Jersey. We're back in Houston. We are in London in a few weeks as well. And we inaugurated the very exceptional Visionary Leadership Conference. 10 years, we've put in the work. As at now, we're looking at such remarkable impact that is being created, more than 200 courses, more than 100 epic events, more than 500 support coaches, mentors, accountability coaches. We built a cumulative 75,000 plus member strong community of people living in more than 100 countries. We've had 50 plus colleagues who've worked with us since we started. I believe I'm worth listening to. There's no audio anywhere here. We're not kidding. I believe 100% that there's something I have for you that is yours, right? I believe that a woman can make a difference. I believe a man can make a difference. I believe we can start young. I believe that the things that have marked the evolution of Immerse Coaching Company can work for you as well. I believe that there are specific gifts and unique endowments that I have that can be passed on and can be democratized, and you can have access to what I have access to and enjoy your life, right? I see some people give me forests in the chat. I'm taking it. They say it's not flowers alone. Thank you. I receive it. So it matters to highlight to you that we're not course sellers. This is not an Instagram coaching anything. For real, you ought to be a part of a movement that keeps you at the cutting edge of wisdom. You deserve that. Because remember, I've highlighted to you how our original essence must now become the basis upon which you plug in success systems that help you win the way you want to win, the way you are wired to win. You take these things and you plug them in, and your success is going to be on a continuum. Your greatness is going to be on a continuum. Things will open up for you, extraordinary doors. You are going to be indeed announced because you are being primed for global greatness as you embrace that power of transformation that we ought to all be a part of on an ongoing basis. Become a lifetime student as you embrace the power of transformational wisdom. It's going to open up your life to blessing and bliss. If you've struggled and been challenged, new doors will open for you. Favor will speak for you. You would recover grounds where you made mistakes. You're going to step out again. You will make giant and gentle strides. Giant and gentle strides. If you're just starting out, you're going to have ease. You're going to be propelled. You're going to enjoy speed. You're going to come into quality alliances step by step in the course of this year onto this decade. You are going to look back at your own journey and put your milestones together. You'll be able to say, hey, DDK, it's true. These things you talk about are true. Look at me. Look at what is happening for me. You see, they're not superstars anywhere, and no one person, is housing all that God is doing. No, we are fellow sharers of these significant provisions of grace. And that is why we are here today. Okay, that's why we're here today. Lovely. I cannot talk about my 10th anniversary without having gifts for you. It's impossible. Like, how would I do that? You know me, you know your girl. I always come bearing gifts. And I said, those who come to the intensive today, 100% have to be a part of something very, very special that we have going. You already know that we are live with Visionary Leadership Conference. Look at that lineup. And I'm not even talking yet about our faculty. And I'm going to talk to you about the faculty in a moment. Hey, but look at that lineup. of keynote speakers. Look, that stuff is looking good. When you come to know, and we'll share their details with you more, but when you come to know of Busi Masiko Adan, you're going to just be so blown away. When you come to know of Lady Audrey Joy Zigomore, you're going to love what you find. Brett Johnson is my mentor, and he's the founder of the Lemon Leadership Model, which I think is a revolutionary framework we're bringing to you this year at Visionary Leadership Conference. I will be there. Look at your girl. I'll be there. We've got Dr. Oleg Konovalov. He'll be with us in the US. We've got Joko Tade Adeniyi. She's going to be frontlining in the Dr. Oleg will be with us in the UK. Joko Tade will be frontlining in the US. And we've got Safela Jorotoye himself as well. We're in Nigeria at Admiralty Conference Center on Friday the 27th and Saturday the 28th, and we're streaming to everywhere in the world. Now, for the premium ticket, and you find that on the website, you'll be able to also join us in the US and in the UK, and you have full access to everything happening at the main conference here in Nigeria as well. Right after this intensive, I beg you, make sure you're jumping on this thing. Make sure you're jumping on it. I promise you, you are worthy of this leadership development investment. You are worthy of it. To all of you who've registered, thank you. You've blown our minds. You know, I'm truly inspired by your commitment. Thank you, right? And those of you who are still like, okay, DDK, will it be, I promise you, it's Pro Max, great wisdom. And what I love about it is you can sit with your replay and make it your companion for leadership as you go on into the next year. Now, this is something I'm giving you. My team, you know, they're sort of rolling their eyes at me, but I'm giving you something if you have registered and if you register in the next 24 hours. But before I talk about it, I want to highlight something special we've got at the conference this year, and it's around the communities of leadership practice. Listen up, this is big deal. This in itself is a product of genius. It's a product of original genius in Immerse. Guess what? This year at Visionary Leadership Conference, I'm bringing to you mentors who will get into an immersion to show you how to thrive as a leader based on your field of play. Because we're saying to ourselves, leadership requires context. And despite all the great things we will learn together in the broader conference setting, we wanted you to come into your own community of leadership practice where you get a great opportunity for networking, for collaboration. You may find a founder or a co-founder there. And we wanted you to learn from leaders. Some of you are entrepreneurial leaders. Some of you work in corporate arena, your industry talents, your corporate leaders. Some of you are culture shapers. Some of you are spiritual leaders. Some of you are tech innovators, disruptors. Some of you are in the policy and impact space. And we didn't even leave out a category people often leave out, academic leaders and researchers. Now, identify for me, where are you? And I know some of you may be moving across multiple practices, but you get to choose the one you want to sit into. And then if you are on the premium ticket, you have a replay of all the practices. All the communities. This is no ordinary conference. This is no talk, eat and go. No, you're going to be thanking us for many, many years to come, for real. But tell me where you are. Entrepreneurial leaders, talk to me. Corporate leaders, talk to me. Culture shapers, talk. Academic leaders, impact leaders. I love it for you. Tell me where you are, because we're going to get into those mentorship immersions. I'm not even teaching any of the communities because I want to sit in and learn and grow and connect with people like me. So 100% you're going to find even deeper answers when we come into the communities of leadership practice. That's happening virtually anywhere you are in the world. We're going to sit together, and we're also going to be highlighting opportunities that exist globally for your specific communities of leadership practice. Now to my gift, but you have to let me know if you want my gift. You have to look, I don't do stuff that won't be appreciated. Tell me if you're here for it. Let me know. DDK, bring on this unbelievable 24-hour offer that you have for me. If you've registered, just sip green tea and be happy because we got you. You are already covered, and you'll be nicely signed into this precious gift. Mercy wants her gift. And if between now, actually it's more than 24 hours, I think, because it's till 11:59 p.m. tomorrow. So yeah, that's even more time for you to grab your gift. I want my gift. Yes, I'm giving you your gift. Anytime between now and tomorrow, 11:59 p.m., if you've registered for VLC, and if you register for VLC, you're going to get access to Visioning 2025. I have seen the Declaration of Dominion 2025 to 2030, and I'm going to be teaching you that thing. It will blow your mind. It's completely free for everyone. It's unbelievable. Really, really, I'm telling you, right? If you've registered, and if you register, I will give you free access to that. The $30 is out, and you can have that. For those who were with me at Visioning 2024 Summit, you know what that meant. And I'm 100% giving that to you between now and 11:59 p.m. tomorrow. Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. When I open up on the 2025 to 2030 Declaration of Dominion. Look, we're in it to win it together. It's breathtaking stuff. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. And I was even asking God, like, can I start to use this thing? He'd be like, go for it. Go for it. I know I shared it with my community, but since it's happening a few days away, I get a chance to mention it to you. I will be in Harvard from Monday next week for this very distinguished senior women's leadership program. I was handpicked. I loved the entire process of qualifying, and another reason you should know that we've got something going here and we're all a part of it. So remember, I shared it with you earlier in the year as something that was going to happen. And if you trust me enough, I'll carry you along with pictures and videos of the experience as we get through it next week at Harvard. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, let's make sure we do this. Everyone. I was asked, would it be for standard and premium corporate ticket only? I said everyone. Virtual ticketers, everyone. You have that. Okay. Take that link right after the conference and jump on it before the end of tomorrow, and I will see you at Visioning 2025 Summit without any extra fee. Okay? Congratulations to you as well, and I thank you. Now, let's spend the rest of our time together doing some deep dive, highlighting some of the items we find in that 10x personal and business success system. Okay. Hopefully, I can run through just one or two on each side. And then remember that as you pay for VLC on the right ticket, you also come into my coaching circle. So as you get into the coaching circle, you're going to now be able to access these conversations because I'm going to keep teaching more and more about it. Look at that. This is what it looks like. And I highlighted 7 on both sides: the self-efficacy question, my high performance cycle model, the laboratory of silence, the 3 LA personal branding method, the vision of transcendence system, strength modulation mastery, and then spirituality as a leverage. And I was saying on Instagram, you can just even look at this framework and I mean, it's already a blessing, and be like, okay, DDK, yes, I get what you mean there, because I've been in the community and I'm going to work on it more, right? Or DDK, I don't know what you mean, so I'm going to get into your coaching community and I will be able to learn about some of these insights. And on the business system, success system side, I highlighted small business, high power team, organogram, branding, thought leadership, and credibility sharing, value, worth, and pricing, profitable pivots, and strategic scale, the 4-part highest CEO functions, my authentic selling methodology, and ambassadorship and affiliate models that work. Okay, so the caveat already is no audio here, right? You know how we say that thing is audio. Are we sure they work? We've confirmed to you they work 100%. These insights can work for you too. If you can situate them into your own unique essence, it will work for you. So take the answers that you're interacting with and start to plug them into your own story. I'm giving you 1 minute to grab water, and we're going to jump right into the first part around your personal success system. Grab water, stand, stretch. Let's do this, okay? I will take 1 or 2 on each side, and I will start to unpack those for you. Remember that the only way to get into my coaching community till the end of this year is by signing up into VLC. I encourage that you sign up through the premium ticket so that you can come into Future Forward Female Mastermind, because higher level conversations happen there. But at the minimum, make sure that you're getting into the virtual ticket or the standard ticket. And if you lead an organization, come together for a team of 5 and get into the corporate ticket. But grab water. When you said, say, DDK, let us fly. When you said, put in the chat for me, DDK, let us fly. And we'll start with the self-efficacy equation. DDK, let us fly. The team will keep putting the link for how you can register immediately so that you can come on board this 24-hour offer. Let us fly. Nancy says, let us fly. Okay, let us fly. It means you're ready to go. Lovely. So let's start with the self-efficacy question. This one, I need you to listen up. I need you to listen up. This is an anchor of personal success for anyone. It's not, it may work for you, it may not work for you, for anyone. You are keen about personal success. You want to change your life from inside out. You want to not only connect with opportunities, but create opportunities for others. You want to transform your health, your finances, your relationship. You want to be a better person and feel better about yourself. If you answer yes to any of this, you want to be spotlighted as a high value individual, then this particular principle will work for you. Look, if there was only one thing I could share at the intensive today, it will be this one. I beg you not only to listen to me, but to make a determination that you must enter this wisdom. It will change your life. I've deployed it on 3 categories of unlikely coaching clients. One was a stammering, shy, and unsure teenager who was at best average in her academics, the daughter of a dearly beloved friend. And I kept saying, this girl she's got superpowers, but it's not coming through. She's got superpowers, but it's not coming through. And I deployed the self-efficacy equation on her in the context of being a young girl, and it worked for her. I deployed it on a coach, a client who had like a stall in her career, and she wasn't really moving. And I said, I know what we're going to do that is going to shift you to the other side. I've deployed it on an older woman who felt like she was reinventing herself and wasn't really sure how to play in a space, was feeling, out of place, didn't have the expertise or the experience, and people thought she was too elderly, all those sort of things, and it's changed the game for her. So if you said yes to any of the highlights I offered, you want to prioritize self-efficacy. Now look up, listen to this as well. We have romanticized self-confidence, self-discovery, self-love for so long, self-image for so long, but we see that it's not getting us anywhere because that's not where the power is. Self-discovery is great, self-image is great, but I want to show you something that takes the concept of self-offering, right? Self-evolution out of the zone of emotions into the zone of power. We've emotionalized the concept of self-image that we think it's all about soft affirmations, someone to make you feel good about yourself, and we find that it's not working because many years down the line, we're still carrying this baggage of insecurity, this baggage of inauthenticity, this baggage of, the imposter syndrome, feeling like we're not good enough. Many women are now wealthy, married, have great jobs, wear great wigs, but they still don't feel good about themselves. And it's got to be bigger than just trying to fix your emotions. I want to show you something that is truly powerful because it is also anchored both in spirituality and in neuroscience. Listen up. This one is really good. This is a life-changing, game-changing principle that I have worked for many years. And when people say, DDK, you're really confident, this is the equation that keeps me confident. I have similar life experiences as every other woman, right? But this is the equation that keeps me confident. And you cannot separate me from my convictions, right? Because of this equation. And of course, we count on God's kind help to keep our lives anchored in his love and favor. And that's what I'm declaring over you as well, that you're not going to come into severe difficulty that confuses you about who you are. You're not going to lose what is precious to you, right? But this equation is an answer for you. Are you ready for it? The self-efficacy equation. This is the equation that will make you become powerful. This is how it starts. The first part of the self-efficacy equation is challenging opportunity plus executable context plus growth mindset plus work done equals trackable results. Would you please take the link over so I can see clearly? Lovely. Can you see that? Self-efficacy is higher than self-confidence. And self-efficacy is simply about an indisruptible or irrefutable belief in your ability to produce success. That's the concept here. And you need it. I believe you need it. You 100% need a deep-seated conviction that you can produce success, that you can consistently produce superior performance. You need to feel that way about yourself. And you cannot just rile yourself up and say good things about yourself. It's not going to be enough. This is the first part of the self-efficacy equation. Challenging opportunity plus executable context plus growth mindset plus work done equals trackable results. Hold that for me. To be able to produce results that can be tracked, that can be associated with your name, right? You need an opportunity that challenges you, that challenges your mind, a task, an assignment, something that you need to achieve, that a goal that challenges you. That's a challenging opportunity. It must challenge you. It must make you feel like, oh my God, can I do this? But I want to try. Oh, I have a deadline. Oh, I have a proposal to write. To the simplest things, it must challenge your mind like, God, we've got something to work on. Oh, I've got a webinar to create. Oh, I've got an app to build. Oh, I've got a speaking opportunity, a challenging opportunity. You must seek this consistently in your life if you want to produce results. And then you need an executable context. It can be in ministry, it can be in family, it can be at work, it can be in your own business, but you need a context. It's called an executable environment, or a context of achievement, the place where it will be done. You see, so your business, Immerse, is an executable context for me. I come there every day, and VLC is a challenging opportunity for us. It's challenging us to get the goals, the results we want to get. And the organization we work in is our executable context. And then you need a growth mindset. What is the growth mindset? What's the other word for growth mindset that I love to use? Who can put in the chats for me? Growth mindset. How do I often say that? Who remembers this? Expandable brilliance. That's a growth mindset. It's to know that everything is figure outable. It's to know that there's no genius anywhere that anybody came with. Expandable brilliance. Thank you, Eziaha. That's the growth mindset. To know I can learn it if I don't know it. To know I can go find the knowledge if I don't have it. I can expand my leadership. I can strengthen my time management. I can do better at graphic design. Not to throw away opportunities because you hired me as content writer. Now you're telling me to do video editing. That's what the average young person says. And that's why they can't produce trackable results. So growth mindset, and then get the work done. When these things come together, you start to have trackable results. And you need this because it takes us on to the next layer in the self-efficacy equation. Now, trackable results times time equals historical data of achievement. Look, you need this one. You need historical data of achievement. You need to know, the world needs to know that you are a doer. You need a growing resume of success, of goal achievement, of execution. Your soul needs it. The realms of the spirit need it. That is, historical data of achievement is how David said, I killed the lion and the bear. The one who helped me kill the lion and the bear will give me the head of this giant. Do you understand that? That is what we call historical data of achievement. Trackable results times time equals historical data of achievement. Is it instantly clear that our historical data will differ based on how much grounds we've covered, how much work we've done, right? And how much time we spent in the game. So I have historical data of achievement in coaching because I've been here 10 years. And 10 years is not even the same for everybody. Some people will put 100% in each year. Some will put 15% in each year. Trackable results times time equals historical data of achievement. You need historical data. You then take this factor to the third layer of the equation. Historical data of achievement plus every new challenge increases your self-efficacy. This is the meaning of self-efficacy. Self-efficacy happens each time there is a new challenge and you stand in the presence of that new challenge, remembering what you have accomplished, and you're like, we can do it. That is how I stood at Visionary Leadership Conference, including hosting in the US and UK. And the new challenge, plus what I have done in the past, then told me, let's go now, we can do this. That's why I have the self-efficacy. Do you understand this? You see that I didn't stand in front of a mirror and then I said, you are beautiful, you are powerful, You can do this. It is working. Go for it. My self-efficacy is born from standing in the presence of a new challenge, of a powerful vision at the next level, and remembering my historical data of achievement. So some of the things you are trying to solve with affirmation, only self-efficacy can solve it. Do you understand this? And that's why you keep producing and producing and producing and producing. You now become an execution engine, a manifestation machine. So you're working the grace, you're working the grace, you're working the grace. You catch this? Historical data of achievement, plus that new challenge, that next vision, this new task, and it keeps growing self-efficacy. And self-efficacy, it show, your shoe go shine. It shows. Please go back. It always shows. Self-efficacy shows in your language, it shows in your networking, it shows in your show-up game, it shows in your branding, it shows in your leadership, your team constitution, it shows in your earning power. That's self-efficacy. And then when you've got self-efficacy going, it becomes directly proportional to personal success. These are the 4 dimensions of that equation, right? Self-efficacy becomes directly proportional to personal success. And that's why it looks like the rich keep getting richer. It looks like the successful keep succeeding. It looks like the billionaires keep amassing billions. It looks like the industry dominators continue to dominate. Self-efficacy becomes directly proportional to personal success. Do you see this? We don't Google up this stuff. I've lived it, and that's why I can show you. It's original to us. You see, you need this. You need to insist on it. Now, let me raise ambassadors immediately of self-efficacy. You may not have known this equation this way, but if you have proof in your life that this is real, can you put in the chat for me? Can you say, DDK, I'm a proof of the self-efficacy equation. I now see what is working and increasing my success. I'll grab water. I want to read that from you. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Well done, Ezeha. Ugochi, yes. Lady Fair, yes, 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 yes. Stephanie says, I'm coming as a proof. I love it. So if you, Oluwaseun, lovely. Nancy, well done. If you don't have a challenging opportunity, and it's work. Opportunity is clothed often in work. The goals, a task, an assignment, something to work on, a project, something you're volunteering about, a demanding work to be done in the office, and you feel like they could have chosen someone else, but they've added it to your portfolio. A challenging opportunity, and then a context, an executable context, an executable environment. Where will I get this work done? Right? And when we talk about an executable context, you have to remember that there's something called political IQ. If you have a challenging opportunity, you have a growth mindset, you want to get the work done, but you don't understand your context, you have to be able to read the room. You have to understand the context you're in and navigate it so that your results can show. You may have a challenging opportunity, you may have the growth mindset, you may be ready to do the work, but if you don't understand the context well, it may make you struggle with your trackable results. You see this? And then if you've got trackable results, but you don't continue, and you allow this Instagram world to make you package and sound like you're an expert, but you're not growing, you see, and you're not in. And when we talk about time, we're not talking about calendar progression. We're talking about what you invest into time, the skills that you invest into time, the relationships, you see the knowledge that you pour into time over time, and the work you keep doing. That's how you grow your HDA, right? You need your HDA because you would use your HDA as the litmus every time you come into a new assignment, you come to a new job, you come into a new experience. You would be like, we've done this before. Omolola, I just went over executable context. It's where the work will get done, whether it's an office for your career or the business that you run or the ministry you lead, or, and you have to understand that context. It matters to understand the context where the work will get done, because if you don't, then 100% you may still struggle. You know how people were pushed out of their organizations by people who didn't like them because they didn't understand how to manage the influences of those who had their CEO's ears, for example. You see this. Was that good or was that good? Was that good or was that good? Now tell me if it was good by telling me what you will do. I'm still seeing questions about executable context. I'm hoping that it came earlier than it came before I spoke. Kumi, can you confirm that you've heard me about the executable context now and it is clear to you? Please confirm that to me, because I've spoken to it twice. Nancy says it was excellent, DDK. I love it. Now tell me, as you look at the equation, where you have to strengthen. Tell me the elements you believe you need to strengthen across these 4 layers. Where are you looking at and saying, DDK, I need to grow here. I need to put in more work in this particular area. Talk to me about that one, and we will be able to run along really quickly to make the most of the time that we have left. Okay? Oluwaseun says, is goodest. Lovely. Okay, executable context. Now, I think I should speak about executable context a little bit more while you're telling me where you want to grow. Okay, let me tell you maybe about 5 things very quickly. Would you like that? 5 things around executable context, since I find a number of people asking, right? Would you like me to explore that a bit more? The first thing around executable context I already clarified is that you have to understand where the work will get done. The culture, the political climate, the people, you have to understand the context of the culture of the context where the work will get done. Secondly, you have to understand the team constitution within that executable context. If you have a very weak team constitution, then it will put greater pressure on you to grow your own expertise, to invest more time, because the team constitution is weak. If the team constitution is stronger, you can lean on them and learn from them as well, and that becomes helpful. The third thing around the executable context is you've got to understand the industry and the trends within that industry. That can be a major game shaper for the work that you have to do within the space that you're called to do. You're called to do the work. A fourth thing you could be thinking about when it comes to your executable context is, who is the assessor of performance? In the space where the work must get done, whether it's in your organization or in an agency you work, or maybe even in family life, right? Because you can use this even in marriage, right? So you have to know who the assessor of performance is. And in understanding who the assessor of performance is, you will then be able to clarify from them what priorities matter in being able to get the results that you are looking to get. A fifth thing about your executable context is, if you have if you are within a context that doesn't challenge you anymore, then you may not easily find an opportunity that challenges you. If that context doesn't challenge, if you're done with the work, you're not feeling inspired, you may not find an opportunity there. So sometimes the opportunity is connected to the context. Don't worry when you're listening again that is when you will hear clearer some of these things. So don't stress about it. It's going to get clearer. Okay, and I love, love, love the feedback you've given about the different areas within this equation where you want to do better. Let's run very quickly to a second item within my personal success system that I could share with you this evening. Okay, my high performance model. Now, isn't this one special? Especially, give me a moment. KB says, how about executable context in the light of a self-employed individual? That's a great question. And yes, as a business owner, your business is your executable context. So if you ask me some of the things that you should watch out for within your own business context as your executable context, or your own business as your executable context, the first thing I would say would be around your team constitution. Again, if you're just starting out and you don't have a team, then you know that you have to rely more on a wider array of skills to cover a wider array of tasks by yourself within the organization. But if you have a growing team, you want to invest quickly in team members who supplement the areas where you are weak. That is really important. So if you're growing a team, you also want to look out for team members who either supplement where you are weak or who can focus on what you prefer to deprioritize. That's something you watch out for in your executable context. A second thing you should watch out for would be for you, those who have gone ahead of you in the space. For a business owner, you want to quickly know those that you can learn from. We call it parallel mirroring. You want to know organizations, institutions that have gone ahead of you, and you want to just take some time to understand their own models, not necessarily because you want to copy it, but you want to understand what works. A third thing for executable model, if you're self-employed, would be around your time management and your productivity. So you want to understand your energy cycles, in the context of how I will show up because I'm directly leading myself. As well, you would need, just like a person in corporate career, to understand the industry and the trends that matter in that industry at the time. A fit thing for you if you're self-employed, and even if you're a career professional, for executable context may also be what technology and tools are most applicable for you to fast track success with the work that you're doing. Okay, now let's jump to high performance model. This is why you should get into our coaching communities, because the conversations will continue. Okay, please go back. Thank you. Our executable context for an author, you are the context. I mean, you're the one who would love to get your book published, right? So you're working within the context of a personal vision. And some of the things I've highlighted for a self-employed person will work for you as well. Your time management, productivity system, the industry you're in, those who've gone ahead of you, a software or technology that could support you to get the results. You just have to know how the work you want to do will get done. That's what your executable context is about. Now, high performance model. What do I have for you here? Really big deal, especially as you start to move upward the ladder of visionary execution, whether as a career person or as a business owner. The concept of high performance model is to help you think carefully about how you would succeed without compromising your health, your rest, and how you'd be able to build an overwhelm free, sustainable pace for your high demand life, right? So if you know that you are like in a high demand space in your life, and you've got so much grounds to cover, you may put that in the chat for me to say, yes, DDK, I 100% need this. Or if you know that you work in a high-paced environment, or you have projects that you have to execute and you're constantly saying, this is a lot, I feel overwhelmed, how do I manage this? then you find this very useful. Of course, this is big deal for me because I get asked all the time, how do you do all these things that you do? And I hope you rest enough. How are you able to cover this much ground? I've worked with this unique model for a really long time, and I have shared a lot about it, even though I will often highlight just two parts of it, but I want to show you the 5 parts. So it starts from your soul state. So when you're getting into a high demand season, or you want to get into a project, or you are thinking about how to organize your career at the beginning of a year or at the beginning of a season, or your academics, or you want to get into a master's, whatever, my high performance model looks like beginning from what is called the zone of soul state vision. You have to step back at the beginning of any project, any initiative, at the beginning of a new role in your organization, at the beginning of an academic year. You have to step back into soul state vision. You have to ask yourself, what do I want to see at the end? You see, so you're going in within yourself. And for me, I would spend time worshiping and praying. I will likely go away on a short retreat. I just want to zone into the work. So I'll give the Visionary Leadership Conference as an example. At the start of when we began to think, okay, we're getting ready for VLC, I stepped away and I took the time to sit into an understanding of what the vision should be. That's where the theme came out from. That's where speakers came out from. That's where the communities of leadership practice came out from. That's where the US pod, the UK pod. That's what keeps you fresh and at cutting edge, making sure you're not merely repeating yourself as against iterating and sort of layering more and more. Are you still with me? Please let me know in the chats. The chats are quieter, and I'm on something that is premium insight for you. Okay, so let me know you're still here. Be like, DDK, we're here, we're here. Lovely. So you need that zone. You need to enter that zone. You need to prime yourself into that zone of soul state vision, and you've got to see it. So you pray. You can go closer to nature. You can spend time even speaking to people who inspire you, listening to people who inspire you. You can read a book. This one helps a lot, right? You could read a book that feels very connected to what you want to go work on, what you want to, step into. And this model could span 6 months for some, 6 weeks for some, 20 days for some. But you need to start. Never just jump into, even if you're a member of staff and there's a project your organization is getting into, you want to step back and say, okay, what's my role? And you want to document and think about it and pray about it, make your confessions for it. See that vision, see that picture, see that event happening, okay? So that's how the zone of soul state vision opens up. And even though members of career professionals who go on leave and come back, when before returning from a leave, you always have to step back and say, as I get back to work, how's my career shaping up? What do I want to see? Where am I headed? This is really important. So that's how you step into your zone of soul state vision. From there, you move to the next critical phase, which is now the zone of high performance. This is where we now get the work done. Because in your zone of soul state vision, you're documenting the vision, you're sort of clarifying what the end point will be. When you get into your zone of high performance, you now start to create your project plans. You're distributing the work. You are priming yourself by setting the goals, and you are now in doing. Right? You're meeting the stakeholders. You're selling the product. You are, working on the documents, whatever it takes. You actually now get into the do. If you were in a master's program, you've envisioned it, you submitted your letter of statement of intent, all of that. When you get into the master's, you now start to do the work. You start to attend the classes, you start to work on the assignments, you start to research. It's your zone of high performance. What many successful people do that burns them out is they stay too long in the zone of high performance. They do, and they keep going. They never know how to carefully walk through this undulating graph to keep moving them phase by phase across. So in your zone of high performance, the zone of high performance is so critical and remarkable for you to have trackable results and for you to create results, to create success. It's where we work. Now, unsuccessful people don't stay here enough because it's uncomfortable. But successful people who stay here too long burn out and they lose their zest, and then it takes too long to recover. So in high performance, we are goal setting, we are executing, we are mobilizing resources, we are managing teams, we are connecting with stakeholders, we are tracking success, we are building, all of those things are happening till the point of full execution, whatever that looks like for your own circumstance. You then move into this very important phase that many successful people don't know about. It's called the zone of wise descent. The zone of wise descent. This is the most poorly managed space in the high performance model. And it's what trips a lot of people to come through a project and they feel like failures. They get into depression, or soul distress. They become tired, frustrated. They even get guilty because they feel ungrateful. And it's not about whether the project succeeded or not. You can succeed from a zone of high performance. If you don't manage your wise descent, that means you're climbing down cautiously. You can actually still fall into soul distress. Because let me explain it to you. The zone of high performance massages the soul so much that you are raw on the inside. It's too much. So you're too turned on. You're working on a project, you wrote that book, you're too turned on. And if you don't, it's just like a person who fasted. There's a way they have to come down, or else you can disorganize the inner structure, of your body's function, something like that. So wise descent, you have to come down gradually. Now, I will highlight to you at least 5 things that ought to sit in this zone, right? The first thing that has to sit in this zone is reflections, personally, and then with the team that worked on the project with you. Now, you may even be on a project that will not end immediately, but you have to now pace that project. And sometimes you have to interject zone of high performance with zone of wise descent before you get back into high performance. So in wise descent, reflection, lessons learned, conversations. How did this go? What worked? For spiritual people, maybe especially with ministry work, no, even with every kind of vision, you also even have to run these reflections with God spiritually. You have to get with the Holy Spirit and say, did I do what you wanted me to do? How did I do? Did I obey? Are you pleased? What could I do better? You have to go on that journey of reflections. The second is you have to document the wins. If you don't document the wins, you will not know how to be grateful. Stop treating gratitude as the natural emotions and response to success. Gratitude that is full has to be curated. You have to document carefully the wins. What worked? Why did it work? Every detail you called, because it triggers gratitude. You need gratitude when we get to the next level, and I will show you, because if you don't have gratitude, that zone I will tell you next will be difficult, right? So you reflect on the journey, you document the wins, right? You draw lessons from the failure. You have to go to what you were displeased about, how you felt like you failed, what didn't work out, what you wish you had and you didn't. You have to draw specific. You're not permitted to say, I'll come back to it. What could you have done better? Who could you have spoken to earlier? What, you have to, and even for the things you don't feel you have a lesson for yet, you have to highlight how it made you feel. That is surely a place that you want to go. The fourth thing you have to do is you have to tell the story. It's important in your zone of wise descent to tell a story of that journey. It's why you'd put a post out to say, wow, this conference, and you're sharing pictures and you're making a reel. Many people do it, but they don't know why they do it, so it doesn't work for them. In wise descent, you must tell the story. You see, and that's how you also put out your reports, how you create a website where people can go check out the gallery, all of that. It really, really matters for you to do that. And then in wise descent, you must sit with a circle of influence. You must sit with a circle of influence. People who see you, people who care, and that's why you also pass on experiences from a conference or from a project you worked on to your mentors. You talk to your spouse. You have to be nurtured back to health in wisdom, in grace, in love. It's big deal for the soul. Or else, people who don't sit in circles of confidence don't know how to feel the experience of accomplishment. And when you don't know how to feel the experience of accomplishment, then it becomes tougher for you to want to replicate it, because you're not training your soul in the emotion of accomplishment. So it's the habit loop. Your soul doesn't have a cue to want it more. Do you understand this? Your soul doesn't have a cue to say, oh, that thing that I will feel when we work on something. He doesn't know it. So people keep going like zombies and doing, and they think they're being humble. I don't care. I just do my stuff. No, that's not how life's meant to be. In circles of influence, you learn to feel the accomplishment. You learn to feel the experience. You learn to share the experience, right? So you must sit in circles of influence, and there are many people who are there. There are mentors there, there are friends there, there are confidants there, there are intercessors there who prayed with you, etc. You sit with your team, all of that. You celebrate. So in wise descent, we also really celebrate in that circle of influence. You take your people out, you have a good time, you buy that dress you said you buy for yourself, those sort of things within your zone of wise descent. Many, many things could be there as well. But 100%, these are some key arenas. And then that takes you to a zone I talk about a lot as well. It's your zone of high recovery. Your zone of high recovery. This is where you have to now unplug and recharge and step back. This zone is very misunderstood. People think it's what is not. That's why they never really get recharged. Right? So many deeply stressed visionaries, so many. And I'm going to give you 5 signs that you are in a stressed soul state as a visionary. And it's not merely about your body, if you're tired or not. Number 1, if you have an association of arduous work with vision, you are deeply stressed in your soul state. If you associate vision and execution with such demanding hard work that you're like, we have to do it, but when and you find yourself saying, hey, I've not even done this one. They're already telling me I'm that one in my mind. Hey, when ideas terrify instead of thrilling you, if ideas come to your mind and they sort of terrify you instead of thrilling you, and you find yourself saying things like, I don't want to disappoint God, I don't want to disappoint my generation, and it sounds noble, you're deeply stressed, right? That's a big sign that you are deeply stressed. Another big sign is if you do not have vivid, colorful recollections of your successes, and you feel like, look, God takes all the glory, he takes the stage, take the stage, and I'm just doing my... No. If you don't have vivid, radiant recollections of your successes, of your journey, you see, you are deeply soul stressed when it comes to the visionary life, because your high recovery is poor. Number 3, if you repeat the same mistakes in the foregoing, so you're looking back at your projects and you're still seeing the same areas where you should grow and you haven't grown, and you're like, we're still not getting this thing right. if you cannot see incremental success on the foregoing as you move forward with projects, you are deeply soul stressed as a visionary. Number 4, if you are unable to see incremental pricing, whether with your career and how you negotiate your salary or with your products and your services, you can't see your pricing progressing, it's because you can't see your worth progressing. And you can't see your worth progressing because you're not clear. Your vision of your success is not clear. So your image of your worth is not stronger in terms of an association with your value and your expertise. And so your pricing cannot grow. You see this. And it means that you're so stressed. And then number 5, if rest does not make you rest, if retreats don't restore you, if vacations don't vacuum your soul, if the physical correlatives of rest don't reach you, you still come back and you're like, I need this thing. Okay, now that I have brought everybody out, confess, does it resonate? Do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah? Do you know what I'm talking about? If I'm talking to you, just be like, call me by my name. Yes, that's what it looks like to be soul stressed. And many visionaries are here. Let me tell you what, the visionary life, the visionary path is extremely demanding. I'm telling you, you have to learn to take care of your soul on the visionary path, okay? When you get into Future for Female and Men's Arcade, especially on the premium ticket, let's spend some good time in the rest of the year breaking this down further. I will get you into coaching calls and we'll look at it a bit more, but start to do your own work and begin to gradually catch yourself so that you recover. Okay, now why are visionaries so stressed? Many of us, it's not because we don't try. It's not because we don't try. We actually try, right? We try. We will go away. We'll take the weekend off. We'll be like, I've worked so hard. But the zone of high recovery is not, you can never template it. The zone of high recovery is the most personal zone. Is so deeply and privately connected to your original design. What restores me does not necessarily restore Stephanie. So what we have done for the longest time is we have all these soul care templates that we read and see. So you think I have to go to a hotel and I'll just be by myself. Not necessarily. You have to know you enough to heal the demand that vision places on your soul, right? And that's how you frame your own zone of high recovery. So let me share a few seemingly strange things that sit in the zone of high recovery for different people. Number 1, there are people who have to teach what they learned in a high performance season to others for their soul to feel recovered. Can you believe that? So they will finish and they have to gather their prodigies and say, this is what is working, see what happened, see what I found. They need it. There are some people who have to throw an actual party after they succeed at something, but they've stopped. Some people won't do it because they think their family and friends will think they are being too much. There are people who have to throw a party. It sits in the zone of high recovery where they have to get makeup done or get a nice haircut and go out there with friends and have a drink and dance and be like, we did it. Some people need it. It's in the zone of high recovery. Would you believe that? Some people have to read a book to decompress the intellectual high that they were on. Whereas some people have to journal to decompress the intellectual high they were on when they were in high performance. Some people have to sleep it out. Actually, a lot of people have to sleep it out. Some people have to be alone. Let's take our groupie here at this point. They have to be completely alone. Some people have to be close to nature, right? Some people have to be immersed in a time of worship. So you have to know what it is for you. And don't just say, unplug, everybody go away. Not everybody has to go away. You see, some people do not recover when they are out of a physical ambience that they are used to. So you don't always have to travel out. Some people have to stay in. And that's why, if you know I'm that kind of person. If you know that you've created ambience that gives you soul safety, and your soul associates with that ambience, and you take very good care of your spaces. You really invest in caring for your interior decor and painting, and the fragrance, and you just really man that, because you know that you prefer not to go away. I went away to a resort, and each day I knew I was doing it for my children and my husband. They loved it. But I was just like, when are we going back home? I kept saying that in my mind. I need to get back home. And on the first night I got back to my room, I just sat on the floor. I was like, oh, I missed you. I missed you. So you need to know what it is for you. And from your zone of high recovery, which you can continue even as you flow to the next and the next, you then now come into the zone of graduated acceleration, where you start to set yourself back up um, into the work that was getting done, continuing any post project, detail that you were on, and you gradually start to reintroduce yourself to your work, to your ministry, to your business. And these things don't have to take long, because sometimes these projects are very short-ended. And okay, tell me if this was good for you. Tell me if this was worth your time. Tell me if DDK is your girl and you are finding tremendous value, and you can use this for your own success system as well. Now, tell me what zone within the high performance model you have to do more work on. Okay, tell me. Let me know. Joshua, Tosan, Omotayo, Kumi, Ife, Stephanie, Joy, Israel, Dorothy, Simi, Oreka. Tell me, which of these particular zones do you feel like, DDK, I have to grow my dexterity in this space? And tell me if you've caught something that makes you understand yourself better, or how you can distress your soul better. Okay, you need to do more on the zone of high recovery. Wise descent, your zone of wise descent, high recovery. Okay, zone of high recovery. Okay, practically all. Okay, zone of soul state vision and wise descent. Well done. Well done. Lovely, lovely, lovely. I'm going to jump past the transcendence method. I will go on to at least one or two things for you on the business success system. So take me to the business success system, and let's just highlight one thing or the other before we go today. This has been a rich blessing for me, and I believe that you can already begin to take some of the insights from the beginning today and intentionally determine that you're going to make greater progress in your life. Okay, let me highlight to you, small business owner. You're starting off first 3 years, some of us even 5 years, and you're growing the business. You have a small team, and you want to make sure that you win in the way that you constitute people that could help you succeed, especially on the entrepreneurial path. If you ask me, there are some roles that you have to intentionally hire for, and you have to invest in, grow the expertise in that space, so that you can accelerate your business success. Okay? So we're going to look at that one, and then we may take a poll for one or two things you are keen to ask me, and then we'll start to close out. For your small business high impact team organogram, you're sitting up there. You 100% need a team member or more who are within the pillar of social media, branding, sales and marketing, partnerships. You need a team member or more within the core business that you're on, very strong expertise, project mastery, the technicalities of your profit engine or your execution engine, the core main deal of what you do. You need a team member or more sitting in that area. And then you need business support, your documentations, reporting, administration, HR, accounts, whether outsourced or sitting directly within the business. You need to have that covered at the beginning. And something we often don't think about early that I want to challenge you to think about is around leadership buffer, right? So if you're starting out in the first 2 years, it may just be a project assistant, project associate, personal assistant, and executive assistant. As you go further, you need who we call a leadership buffer. As you go ahead, by the time you're hitting your 3rd to 5th year, you must begin to separate yourself from directly overseeing or supervising the operational work of your team members. We often believe that you're still too young. You're like a really young CEO, so you don't need it. So you should do everything by yourself and you should directly engage your team members, but don't do it. 3rd to 5th year, you already want to quickly begin to shape out a leadership buffer, someone you're cloning and someone you're pouring out yourself into, and they gradually begin to step up as your second in command, and they step into managing your team or managing your members of staff. And then you need volunteers, work with a lot of volunteers. Our sister company, Ideation Hub, has a whole volunteer-led management model that we can teach you because it works. Contract staff, interns, NYC, if you're in Nigeria, outsourced staff vendors. This is a minimum organogram in the early days of your business if you want to win quicker. You have to crack and unpack the specific expertise that sit within each of these, core boxes. You have to get your administration, business support right. You have to get the media, marketing, partnership side right. Then you find a team member or more who sits in that core business for you, and then you layer with volunteers. Okay, it's easy to work because they could be young people, but you have to grow that expertise intentionally. Okay, take me back to the success system diagram, and I'm going to allow you tell me one more pillar to cover, and then we close out today. Take me back to the success system framework. Okay, so tell me one arena you want me to cover, and then I will just take it on the account of the votes from the comment section, and we start to close out. If you've got questions, drop it in there. We are on our way out. It has been an extraordinary evening with each of you today. And remember, when you get into Visionary Leadership Conference, you're going to be able to have access to come into our coaching community. Okay, and I will keep teaching this insights as we go on to the rest of the year. Okay. I can see just different highlights coming through. Strength modulation versus laboratory of silence, value worth pricing, spirituality as a leverage, laboratory of silence, value worth pricing, 4-part high CEO functions, authentic selling methodology. You're going to make sure you come into VLC. I'll keep that. You come into VLC. Okay. Vision of transcendence, strength, modulation, mastery. Okay. Tough to choose. Okay. Let me touch on value worth pricing, and I'll see if I can touch on laboratory of silence. Okay. And with value worth pricing, I actually have a model that I'm committing to sharing, which I have taught at our highest ticket coaching program in VCAP. And I will put it out for Future for Female Mastermind in the course of this year so that you can start to look at it. If you're a man and you come into the men's arcade, I'll put it in there as well. And it will begin to break it down. I have shared it as well. I feel like across coaching calls, especially in the mastermind. But while we can't break down the equation, and I will still teach that, I will leave you with a few remarkable thoughts that you should begin to open up your mind to when it comes to value worth pricing. Now, the first thing I want you to understand with whatever you are called to do, whether as a business person, a career professional, is that your value in business or with vision is connected to being able to codify a solution that works and is replicable. That is a big part of how you stay valuable, right? So if you have cracked a problem that can be solved, if you have cracked a pain point for your audience, right? Or you have been invited to fulfill the strategic priorities for business performance in an organization, and you understand that, the question becomes, can you or have you codified an end-to-end methodology of solving that problem, of fixing that pain point, or achieving that goal that can be replicated again and again? This is where your value is sitting, right? The conversation of value is not emotional. The conversation of value is not once in a while it works. And that's why we talk about codification. It's like bottling your superpower and putting NAFDAC number on it. For those who don't live in Nigeria, NAFDAC is a regulatory agency, controlling the manufacturing of food, drugs, etc. So when we see a NAFDAC number, on a product, you are sure that it has gone through a standardized process and the endpoint is predictable. So the matter of value, and there are many things I will show you when we get into the conversation, but at the baseline, already let your mind be brimming with insights about this. The matter of value is about your ability to codify a solution to a problem, to a goal, right? To a pain point. So you are within an organization. Are you clear on why you hold the role you hold and what strategic priorities you can help the organization achieve that directly impact on business performance? Do you know the skill sets that are being leveraged for you to get that result so that you can leverage it and rinse, repeat, reinforce again and again? That codification. Look, even as a coach, by the way, actually more as a coach, the reason coaching feels like a joke to some is because people think coaching is to be able to speak well, gather people, create a community, and just sit and speak or review a book. No. Are you clear on the pain point, the growth areas, and the vision of those you are sent to? And can you categorically say that you have discovered a data-driven blueprint, that if you give me 3 years or 1 year or 90 days, and you come into this blueprint based on this specific elements of what we will do for you, when you come on the other side, these are specific outcomes you can expect. That is what it's about. So if you say I have a personal finance template that helps you calculate your savings and run budgets, is it proven that when I use that template, my saving increases by 5%, the clarity I have about my budgeting by 8%? That's codification. That's where value is. Value is not the skill set that you have. It is how you process that skill set to solve a real problem, achieve a goal, or, fix a pain point, create a real solution. That's value. That's value. If you look in the value, worth, and pricing equation, value is the underbelly upon which everything rests. Now, why are some speakers more powerful than others? Some speakers understand, they have codified their speaking strategy, their energy levels, their voice modulation, their unique vocabulary, their audience management. They have codified it so much that they can replicate the same results regardless of the audience. That's why they charge so much. That's where the value is. Speaking is not the presentation plus dressing good and being able to deliver in good English. No. The moment you say, this is what I do, I'm an international speaker, you have to codify a system that replicates the similar results. So if a CEO of a multinational sits in your audience and they say, come over and talk to my own audience, they don't want to be surprised that you get to their own audience and they're like, oh my God, when I sat in the room, was it that he was more confident because of the suit he wore? No, you must codify it. Something as simple as speaking. So someone speaks and people laugh, someone else speaks and people cough dollars. You see, that is the underbelly. You must go figure it out. And when we sit into the conversation, I will now show you the 3 layers of expertise, research, and industry, how those things now play a role in being able to further frame what value looks like. Okay, now when we come to worth, there are now 3 things you layer on value that impacts on worth. So as you keep growing in value and you're codifying and strengthening that expertise and that ability, you now layer these 3 things and it shapes your worth. There's already value. The first thing you layer is proof. You must layer proof on value. People, institutions that have utilized your codified solution, and that is why even organizations run performance appraisals. That is why your team members have what they want to say about you and your organization, your projects, your team leads. You see, so you must layer proof. And for those of you who have testimonials that say, oh, it changed my life, not bad, but that's not where we're going yet. Because there's really no such thing as anything changed any life without drilling into the specific details. So you have to understand what the impact indicators are for your own space, whether for the individuals you're serving or the institutions you're serving. So after there is value established through codification, you now layer the first thing, proof on it. The sense of your worth as a value provider begins to be apparent, right? Now, what you must know is what you must know is proofs are not born equal. Who provides the proof determines the quality of the proof. What this means is if Michelle Obama is a coaching client to me and she talks about the power of my coaching, is different from if Michelle Ogungbe, a part two student who is still in the university talks about my coaching. So proofs are not born equal. That is what you must know about proofs, right? But you layer proof on value. And if your proof has higher caliber, then it impacts on your worth at a different level. The next thing you layer on value is your personal brand. The more you make an investment in your personal brand, when your personal brand meets with your value and codification, then it becomes a game changer. And I have taught you that personal brand is not about what you post on social media. It's great. Social media is a powerful platform for personal brand. But there are those of you who are like, Didiki, I don't even like showing up on social media. It's not really my game. Personal brand is really just about how you are perceived by your key stakeholders. So everything that comes into how you, and I will teach you that. That's why you need to get into VLC. I'll teach you the 3 LA personal branding method I've used that doesn't make you salesy, overdo anything. You find your flow, but you project correctly to your key stakeholders, right? So you put proofs, you put personal brand on value, and a third key layer you must put on codified value is now partnerships, because partnerships give you both depth and width, instantly. So you put partnerships on top. That's where you are now exploring, credibility sharing. So I have a codified solution for visionaries. It's inside VCAP. There's actually a visionary transformation model that we use that says, come in at the end of a year. These are things that you must see. There are 7 pillars in that visionary transformation rubric. Yet, we have partnered with Dr. Oleg Konovalov to deliver the visionary leadership certification. Do you understand this? Boom! It shifts the game instantly, right? And I'm able to move what I previously sold at 6,500 to as much as 15,000. Of course, not only because of that partnership, but because I elevated the codified value further. But the partnership was also an important part of strengthening the depth and the width of that value. Do you understand that? So you strengthen the worth that way, and you will not have to talk about pricing. That will happen naturally. Was that good or was that good? And we have to go now. But was that good? Did you catch that? And can you already start to see where you have to grow the work you need to grow for the grounds that need to be covered? This has been 100% a blessing. Would you please take me back to the slide one more time for vision in 2025? I just want to put in the beautiful faces of our beautiful guests today before we leave, and to remind you that you have it for 24 hours plus. By 11:59 p.m. tomorrow, we take that offer out of the table. And though we'll still have so many people who continue to register for VLC, register for yourself, for your friends, and please be ambassadors. Talk about how we have to do this together. Thank you. Judith says she can be on this call for 24 hours. It shows how much you surely enjoyed it. So I'll see you at Vision in 2025 Summit, and you won't need to pay any extra deal to come on board. And this is early bird. So by January of next year, it might not even be at $30. Thank you so kindly for doing this with me. May your joy be full. May your answers expand. May your success progress. May your dreams come true. Yes, Chiamaka, this offer is in the corporate plan for each of your team members, because I got you amidst many, many other great things. Well done. Proud of you. I'll put you back in the hands of our host, and I look forward to welcoming you at Visionary Leadership Conference 2024. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much, DDK. That was, I feel like At this point, we have done Visionary Leadership Conference Day 1, and we haven't even started. Ladies and gentlemen in the chat, would you please tell me how tonight was for you? Let PDK read your gratitude in the comments. Remember what we were taught about curating gratitude just this evening. Let me know, how was this evening for you? What stood out to you? What stood out to you as you send your gratitude and appreciation DDK's way? We're so thankful for what has been an amazing evening. Let me read it. Tell me what stood out to you. Tell me what was revelatory to you. I see coming in the chats. I see it coming in chats. Tell me. Dr. Nate is already asking for the replay. Allow this one digest first. Digest your notes first. Then you can go into the replay. Please take advantage. It was a confirmation. The first say it was a confirmation to me, and it was also liberating. Amazing. It keeps getting better and better in this community. Yes, indeed. So many times we've learned about like self-efficacy and high performance and high recovery, but then you learn it in a completely different way, and it's like you've never heard it before. Yes. I need to study over and over again because my brain is charged as always. When you listen to something again and again, that's when your learning and your actions are reinforced. All right, I want to see a few more rather, as we start to close tonight. We've been here a good amount of time, so it's time to start calling it an evening. All right, let me see some more. The fact that everything that we learned today ties to knowing our original design. I kept thinking to myself, man, we can't really say we've done, self-awareness and we've gotten to the end of self-awareness. It's like a lifetime journey, a continuous, engagement with learning about yourself, knowing yourself, studying about yourself. She wrapped up the session with, I missed that. I think that person was talking about value, worth, pricing. The self-efficacy equation was fire was the absolute best. She wrapped up the session with light bulb points on value, worth, and pricing. All right. So, in case you're not a member of our community, and you're like, so this is what these people are enjoying in this community. I mean, this is your invitation to come join us. And you can join us for the coming cycle by simply registering for the Visionary Leadership Conference. We cannot wait to have you within our community. And for those who are already members, you know that we are going to be enjoying an amazing time for the rest of the year and beyond. All right, so please take advantage of the offer for the next 24 hours. Register for the Visionary Leadership Conference. Again, I'm going to reiterate because I know someone asked at the beginning, you do not have to be in Nigeria or in Lagos to be able to attend. You can join the virtual session, and I promise you that you will have just as great a time as though you were there in person. So please take advantage of the opportunity of the free offer to join the Vision 2025 Summit, which is always mind-blowing. And join us at the end of the month for the Visionary Leadership Conference. Join us in the Immerse community and join us in 2025 for the Visionaries Visioning Summit 2025. The link has gone up a number of times in the chat, and I'm just looking to see if we have any last minute questions that have not been answered. Thank you, Dr. Lois, for answering some of those questions. Thank you. I still see some of the comments coming through. Are there any final last questions on anything, any of these? Okay. So Naomi's question is, what time does the Visionary Leadership Conference start? Visionary Leadership Conference is essentially a whole day affair. So you should expect that you would be there for the entire, from morning till evening for both days of the conference. I hope that kind of helps answer that question for you. Just seeing if there are other questions I may have missed. All right, I see someone confirming that they're going to be attending virtually from US East. If you take advantage of stuff 9 p.m. West African time tomorrow, you get free access to 2025. So I'm wondering, what date is the Visionary Leadership Conference? It is Friday and Saturday, September 27th and September 28th. All right, thank you so much. I see that. All right, cool. What an evening is. Immerse team, please help share the link again in the chat. I see if people are still asking for it. Any last final questions before we call it a night, evening, the morning, a day? All right, fantastic. Thank you so much for audience this evening. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. Thank you. Now you will get specific information on the timing. You will get specific information on when you should join, but you should expect that it will start very early in the morning, as early as I believe 9 a.m. But you will get specific information from the team on when we're starting, the schedule and the agenda for both days. Don't worry about that. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful evening. Cannot wait to see you at the Visionary Leadership Conference in 2 weeks. And those in the pods in the UK and in the US cannot wait to see you as well. Have a great evening. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And see you at the Visionary Leadership Conference. Good night.